All right, so if you all are ready, you can go ahead and take a seat on your mat. You can take Sukhasana, any type of simple, comfortable seated pose. We have Nene for a demonstration. You know her real name's Guinevere, but I call her Nene. That's her little nickname. So as you're seated, go ahead and bring the left hand to your heart, the right hand to your lower belly, and start to focus on your breath. Allow your hands to serve as anchors so that you can really drop into your present moment awareness. And also so that you can gauge where and how your breath moves in and out of the physical body. So with a straight spine, with the shoulders relaxed, and the knees close to the earth as possible. So let them be very soft. If you need to sit on something, you can always prop yourself up on a block or a blanket. You can have the eyes open or closed. If your eyes prefer if you prefer your eyes to be open, you can just softly gaze down in front of you. And first, just notice the breath. Notice how it moves and flows. How there's no beginning and no end. In fact, your breath is like one lifetime of breath. It just continuously rolls in and unrolls. If you have space for the breath to be deeper, go ahead and invite that in now. Sometimes when we think that we're finished inhaling, there really is more space beyond that. So can you explore that part of the inhale breath? Inhale, reach the top. When you think you've reached the top, can you inhale more? And then the same thing as you exhale. When you exhale and the breath comes out, can you squeeze a little bit in the belly to let more of the breath out? Take a few more like this at your own pace. I'm going to recommend that you start breathing how you want to breathe for the rest of the practice. So these deep, rhythmic, and quite even breaths. Inhale can match the exhale, or the exhale can be even a little bit longer than the inhale. And you can stay here with your hands connected, heart and belly. If you want to try exploring some sun breaths, bring your hands to your sides, palms face forward. And as you inhale, circle the arms overhead. As you exhale, bring them together and down the midline of the body. Some seated sun breaths. Relax and inhale. Imagine the rib cage lifts up off the pelvis. Reach the fingertips high. Once you reach the top, exhale, seal in the breath. Let the entire exhale bring your hands back to center and release down. 2 more. Maybe you close your eyes and notice how your physical body can match the breath length. Once you come back to center, and Nene stops licking her paws, thank you very much. If you're sitting on something, you can get it out of the way. Let's bring the feet mat distance apart, and you could prop yourself behind you and just start to tick-tock the knees left to right. Next time you drop the knees to the right, you can follow through with the upper body, spider up the fingers, twist, looking over the right shoulder. Thank you. No, go lay down. Go lay down, go lay down. Go lay down. Gently twist, drop the knees over to the left, follow through with the upper body. Try to keep the neck nice and long, the chest lifted. And as you look over the left shoulder, see if you can find the edge of your peripheral vision. Can you look really far around the corner there? Coming back to center, we're going to take the feet, cross one over the other, it doesn't matter, and just pick up the legs. Now you can reach the arms forward, you can again stay plugged into the earth. No big deal, nothing crazy. All right, and then relax and release, switch the cross of the legs and pick it back up. Pick up anything that you can, anything that you're ready for. We're just warming up the belly core, the Agni, right? That fire in our core. One more on each side. Relax and release. Cross opposite ankle on top. Reach up. Now, if you want, you can maybe find your feet. Pick them up. Lift them up. Gently release. Cross the opposite ankle. Maybe you use your hands. Find your big toe. Lift them up. I know it's a little early for this action, but it will serve you. It will serve you in the rest of your practice. Alrighty, guys, as you release, roll over the knees. You're gonna see me use my fists a lot because I do have a wrist injury right now. So you can plant your palms or your wrist down, tabletop position, or your fists rather. And we'll take some cat-cows. So arch the spine and look up. Exhale, round the back. Tuck the chin. Inhale, front of the heart sinks down, tailbone lifts up. Big breath in. Exhale, imagine the back of your heart is the highest point. Tuck the chin, press into the earth. Inhale, let's take two more. Maybe with the eyes closed. And then from here, we're going to inhale the right leg up behind us and bring the knee in towards the elbow. This is a Lizzie move from Sunday. I took her class and I really enjoyed this move. Bend the knee, touch the elbow or close to it. Re-extend. We're going to do 5. Matching again, movement to breath. I think that was 4. Let's go for that one more. Re-extend. Anchor the foot behind you. Cross it to the opposite side of the mat and look over your left shoulder. Gentle opening of the right side body. Coming back to center. Lift up, look forward. And now anchor the foot behind you for side plank modification. So with the back leg fully extended, it's shooting straight out of your hip. The pinky toe edge is plugged in. And you're lifting more than anything. You want to lift through the rib cage. And imagine if your shoulders could stack one on top of the other. They will. Maybe the top arm comes overhead. Maybe you lift up the back foot, any amount. checking for balance. Nice. As you plug in, we're going to come into a high kneeling for gate pose. Open up left side body. We're still licking our paws. When it's rainy and humid like that, she gets irritated on her paws. One of the lovely bulldog qualities. All right, we'll all meet in tabletop position. This time the left leg lifts up. And now if bending the knee towards your elbow just isn't quite happening, just bend it enough to meet in the middle. So reach and extend. Let's do 4 more. You're going to either bring it lateral or just bring it in towards the midline. Re-extend. Knee in towards the elbow. If you're making it towards your elbow, see if you can make it above your elbow. All right, last one. Re-extend. Now look over your right shoulder. Plug the toes down on the opposite side of your mat. Look over the right shoulder. Breathe into the left rib cage. Nice. Re-extend. Spin the back heel flat behind you and come into your modified side plank pose. So again, you've got these straight lines of energy. If you look at your chest plate, are your shoulders stacked? Thumb is right over the temple. And now to add on, you could bring the arm overhead, bicep in line with the ear. Maybe the back foot lifts up a little bit, or a lot. Let's seal back down, come into a high kneeling gate pose. Gentle side stretch. You want to be feather light with the left fingertips. Windmill back to the front edge of your mat. And from here, we'll take the knees out to the edges of your mat, your toes together, and child's pose. Take one more breath. Now lift up your head and look forward. See that your hands are shoulder width apart, your elbows are shoulder width apart. So in child's pose, we're going to curl the toes and press up to dolphin. So you're on your forearms, lift your tail, tuck your chin, and then shift right back to child's pose. Drop the knees, untuck the toes, shift the hips back. All right, we're gonna do a couple more like that. Prop up onto your forearms, curl the toes, lift the tail, tuck the chin, and release the knees down, send the hips back. Let's do one more, just like that. Big hands, your tail is the highest point, long spine, press into the earth, and with control, dropping the knees, send the hips back and release. Take 2 of the deepest breaths you've got. Please stop. Please stop. Alrighty, friends, from here, let's come into a high kneeling position. Circle the arms overhead. Exhale, child's pose. We're just passing through. Inhale, cow pose. Sink the belly, look up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now, I won't be able to do down dog, so I'm going to prop up on my forearms, dolphin, just like we did before. Alrighty, from down dog, drop the knees. Circle the arms overhead, high kneeling position. Exhale, child's pose. Pour the heart forward, touch the forehead down. Shift up, cow pose. Exhale, downward facing dog or dolphin. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. Alrighty, one more. Dropping onto the knees. High kneeling position as you circle the arms overhead. Exhale, pass through the midline, child's pose. Fully relax, let go completely. Inhale, tabletop for cow pose. Exhale, downward facing dog or dolphin. And you can go ahead and pedal your feet out in place. Maybe sway the hips or shake the head out. Just bringing some natural and organic movements into your practice. Another option, if you're not on your wrists like me, is puppy pose. So you can extend the arms, stick the tail way up, chin and chest on the earth. Wherever you are, walking your hands back towards the feet for forward fold. So you're at the back of the mat, the feet are going to be hip distance apart. You can either grab opposite elbows in front or behind the knees. Maybe experiment with how one of those might feel. Or if you always grab on the front, maybe you can explore grabbing behind you. Slight bend to the knees. And imagine your head was this little, like a little sinker. You ever go fishing and you put a sinker on the line and it just weighs everything down? If you choose to add on, you can take your halfway lift, spider up the fingers. Take your left hand, plant it down, right fingertips overhead as your left knee bends. Maybe you look over the right shoulder. Sweetie, honestly, we have to stop. All right, and switch sides, coming back down to center. Right fingertips down, left overhead, right fingertip, right knee bends. There you go. Maybe you look over the shoulder. Try to lift the heart and try to use your gaze as well as part of your practice. Looking down when you're ready. Again, take another set of either grabbing the opposite for ragdoll, grabbing the opposite elbows, or you can reach for behind you. Halfway lift, extend the arms. Exhale, fold. Let the arms drape overhead. So notice, even though you're in that forward fold, your heart is open. You've got a broadening in the chest. The throat is open. It's not compressed. The crown of the head aims towards your toes. Gently let go of the arms. We're going to dangle them as you roll up, one vertebrae at a time. Once you reach to straight spine, circle the arms overhead. Exhale, hands together in front of the heart. Take 2 more sun breaths. Circle the arms overhead. Exhale, hands together in front of the heart. Good, one more. Circle the arms overhead. I love seeing you guys on here. And hands together in front of the heart. Now from here, we're gonna bring our hands to our hips. Take a half step with the right leg and just lean the heart forward. Warrior 3. Gentle balance. Try to keep the hips squared back here. And then I'll bring the knee in close to the body, stork pose. Now plant the left foot Take warrior 3 modified on the other side. Lifting this time the right leg. The heart jars forward. Try to keep the hips square. Pull the knee in through the midline on an inhale. Yay! Exhale, you're at the front of your mat. Circle the arms overhead. Maybe you back bend, sending the pelvis forward, the heart up, gaze back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Step the right leg back for low lunge. Now you can keep the knee up or you can drop the knee down, but we'll eventually walk the hands either to the front of the knee and then shoulders over the hips. And sometimes I like to just pulse in these lunges just to start exploring, like, where am I today? Like, what am I feeling? What's going on here? What am I working with during my practice? If your arms are ready and free, you can bring them overhead. Maybe coming to a stillness or continuing to pulse if that feels good. Reach the hands forward, frame the front foot with both hands. We're gonna step the back foot up just a smidge and spin the back heel flat. Bend the left knee, warrior 2. So it's a little bit of a short warrior, and that's okay. Inhale, straighten the front leg. Let's prepare for triangle as we reach forward. Anchor the left hand anywhere down. So it may be on the knee or like right under the knee, shin, maybe the floor. And just like in that side, that modified side plank, we want to bring the shoulders stacked. Rebend the front knee, warrior 2. Reverse the warrior, warrior 2. 2 more, just like that. You can actually bring the right hand forward if you choose. Just a little spiral, opening. Back to warrior 2, windmill the hands down, frame the front foot, step the back foot forward, and fold. Tuck the chin. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands catch to the hips. Straight spine all the way up. Circle the arms overhead, little back bend maybe. Hands together in front of the heart, fold forward. The left foot comes back this time. So you want to think railroad tracks with your legs. You don't want your feet to be crisscross. So see that one foot is on one side of the mat, one foot is on the other side of the mat. And then decide what it is you want to do. Do you want to drop your knee? Do you want to engage the arms? Do you want to pulse or not? That's the beauty of our home practice, is there's always room, right, to explore, but at home we really have the space to figure things out in a safe setting, right? Maybe I don't have to do what everyone else is doing or what I always do. Maybe I try something new or different. Reaching forward, frame the front foot with both hands. Now you're going to step the back foot flat. Maybe you hop it up a touch and press down to lift up, warrior 2. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, sink down. Inhale, straighten. We're going to reach for triangle pose. So just flowing with your breath. Knowing that there's nothing that you have to do. There's nowhere that you have to be. Aiming for stacked, aiming for straight lines of energy. Rebend the front knee, warrior 2, and then reversing the warrior. Again, do you need that back hand for contact, or can you send it forward? Sometimes it's helpful to be able to anchor down like a little kickstand. All right, warrior two. Let's do one more. Awesome. Frame the front foot with both hands. Hop the back foot forward and fold. For chair pose, we're going to drop the hips back. So sometimes it helps to bring your hands to your hips and actually like imagine that you're going to press the hips back and down. So you're in this like little imaginary chair. Squeeze the knees together. Imagine that you have just like one unit here. One big strong leg. Fingertips forward in line with the shoulders. Inhale, straighten everything. Exhale, let's go right back into that chair. Inhale, release, straighten. Exhale, chair. Activate your triceps. Make your arms solid. If I came and I pressed down on your arms, they would barely move. All right, hands together in front of the heart. Straighten the legs. Just a gentle release before we come into our twist. So jet the hips back. Now you can either stay here or stay lifted and twist. Or if you want, you can hook the elbow over the knee and twist here. Coming back to center, release as you lift. Use the breath. Exhale, hands together in front of the heart. Sit into your little baby chair. And again, either staying lifted with a gentle twist of the heart or hook the knee over and looking over the left shoulder. Coming back to center. Woo, my legs are cooking. Hands together in front of the heart. Take a big breath in. A gentle release. Now let's take a big step open with the right foot to the long edge of your mat. Hands onto the hips. Let's squeeze the elbows back. Squeeze them. Imagine there was like a block back there and you were holding the block with your elbows. Send the pelvis forward, your heart up. Maybe you open the throat. On an exhale, pour forward, but lead with the heart. Keep this forward and lifting. And bend at the waist. Head dangles. You can release the hands either to the floor or to your ankles. I don't believe you were invited. I often have to share my mat. You guys, when I do my own practice, it's impossible. Adding on, we'll take the palms. Spider up your right hand just underneath your face. Left arm's gonna open. Now some of you have enough space here that you can take your top arm and drape it across your lower back. Maybe you catch your inner thigh. Or you just rest the back of your hand on your sacrum. We'll gently unwind. Conscious awareness, right? So let's put the left fingertips where the right ones were. The right arm will swivel up and open. When you look up, is your thumb way back here? Is it over here? Can it be right over your ear? And you may explore with this shoulder, which can be totally different, as mine is. So swiveling open, chest is forward, gaze looks, use your eyeballs. And then look down first as you unwind, coming right back to center. One more forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. We're gonna bring our heels in, our toes out for goddess. Straighten arms, straighten legs. Keep your legs straight, but we're gonna bring our hands into a T position. And you're either gonna bear hug. Let's bring the right arm over the left. You can either bear hug, or you could take eagle arms. Inhale, lift the elbows. Exhale, goddess pose. Inhale, lift the elbows. Exhale, forward fold if you choose. Maybe you touch down or get close to the earth. Tuck the chin when you get there. Inhale, traditional goddess. And straighten the legs. Straighten arms, bring the arms open to a T shape. We're gonna do that same thing on the other side, left arm on top. So again, either bear hug, or you can take your eagle arms. Inhale, elbows up. Exhale, goddess pose. Inhale, elbows up. Exhale, stay or fold. Fold like you mean it. Like you mean it. Inhale, let's come up, unravel, goddess pose, traditional goddess. Straighten everything. Hands together in front of the heart. Let's take a big step forward to the front of the mat. And we'll prepare for a couple of balancing poses. So for tree pose, let's root down through the left foot and bring the sole of the right foot anywhere except for the knee joint. So if you hike it up, there's a little ledge right here where your heel can press in. Your pinky toe jets back. The knee is open. Hands pressed together in front of the heart. Maybe a gentle lift to the elbows. Drop the thumb tips into your sternum. Make that connection so that you can really connect to this present moment. Use your gaze and find one spot that is just not moving. If you want, you can branch out your tree. So either releasing the arms to your sides, releasing your arms up. Maybe you bring your hands together overhead, or you can even interlace them and press your palms up. Let's all release the hands back to center, back to the heart space. Try to not touch down as you bring your right knee forward for stork pose. That's my cat all the way from the catio, all the way from the porch. Not that I have a big house, but he's pretty loud. I don't know if you guys heard him. Passing through warrior three, release the hands down, heart forward, breathe in, and back to center. So shake it out if you need to. I like to sort of pop the tops of my toes down on the mat. You can also make circles with the ankle, one direction and then the other. You can do both sides. We'll do it again when we... Alrighty, the right foot anchors in this time. Decide where you want to go. If you're going high up, hold that ankle. Bring the heel into your thigh. Take the pinky toe, point it behind you. Like if you could take that pinky toe back, and the knee is going to come lateral. What you don't want to do is like one of these. You really want, let's see. This is what a lot of us do. What you want is to take the pinky toe back so that you're in the same plane. With the hands together in front of the heart, gentle lift to the elbows. Imagine your thumbs could drag your heart up to get that solid posture. So you've got a stacked, like if you could stack a set of books on your head, that's how straight your spine can be. If you want to branch out your tree, decide where you might want your hands to go. You can even take goalpost arms. You can explore the hands together or the palms up. Bringing the hands back to center in front of the heart. And try not touching down. Bring the knee forward and imagine there's a little stool. You could just set your foot up on top of that stool. Release the hands down and back for airplane pose. Jet the heart forward. The hips are squared. Pull it back into the midline. Yeah. And release. Shake it out. You can pop your toes, maybe do little ankle rolls. Do both sides. Shake it out if you need to. And then you can bring your hands together in front of the heart back to the top of your mat. Bring the hands up, circle them around, and back to the heart. So this is opposite of the sun breaths that we usually do, okay? We're gonna bring them up through the midline, exhale, circle them at your sides, back to the heart. Last one, inhale. Good. Notice the sound of your breath. Notice the sound of the inhale. The whole exhale brings you down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Maybe you look into the horizon. Exhale, fold. We're gonna step back into downward facing dog or onto dolphin, onto your forearms. Take a cleansing breath in. Cleansing breath out. Bend the knees, come into a high kneeling position. Let's cross the ankles behind you. Sit down, and then just like we did in the beginning of practice, pick up your crossed ankles. Now, if this isn't happening, just see if you could just like pick them up for a second. Pick them up for a second. All right, release, cross the other side, and pick up anything that you can. Maybe you even grab those toes and hold them up there. Move anything out of your mat that doesn't belong there. You can release down. All right, last one, I promise. Traditional boat pose. This is only because my wrist is cranky and I can't, there's certain things I just can't do. Oh. All right, lowering down. 5, 4, 3, 2, hovering, and let go. Fingertips overhead. Let's bring the soles of the feet together for butterfly pose. You can actually catch opposite elbows and frame your head. Relax the knees, relax the belly. Notice if your neck is like crunched. Roll your head a little side to side and release any tension in the neck. If your hands aren't comfortable that way, maybe you can do like we did in the beginning of class. Left hand on your heart, right hand on the lower belly. Take 2 breaths bigger than your breath. 2 breaths bigger than your breath. What does that mean? When you think you're done inhaling, breathe in even more. When you think you're done exhaling, press more air out. Explore that in the next 2 breaths. Gently bring the knees in towards the midline. Preparing for bridge pose. You can bring the feet close to the glutes but hip distance apart. And we'll take some rolling bridges by peeling up the spine and bringing the arms overhead. Exhale, rolling back down, plant the hands. Close the eyes if you wish. Notice the sensation of every bone in your spine rolling up and rolling back. So every bone gets like its little moment of the stage here. And take your own pace. So match your inhale with the bridge pose and your exhale with the release of the bridge pose. Some of you may want to add on by bringing one ankle across the knee. Maybe you shift that foot in a little and take a couple like this. And you start to do so many that it becomes rhythmic. It becomes almost like a meditation. Maybe you do 3 on the one side, and then 3 on the other. Once you're done, you can hug the knees into the chest. Maybe rock a little side to side onto your sacrum, outer hips, waist. We'll take a reclined pigeon pose. So again, the feet hip distance apart, knees are bent. Let's take the left ankle across the right knee and bring the knee in towards you. So you can grab behind the knee. If the knee seems really far away, you can always do like a strap, right? Or you can reach for the top of the knee, but you want your whole back on the floor. You don't want to be like reaching up so that you can catch your knee. At that point, you may want to grab a belt or a strap. So solid foundation. Your spine is, it's like a little sleeping bag. You just rolled out a little sleeping bag and you're laying on it. All of your body pressed into the earth. Now, if it feels okay and you want to roll a little side to side and start digging around some areas that might need a little extra love, if you find a spot or two that feel tight or tense or congested, and don't let the breath go. It's really easy in these postures that are a little bit more passive to forget about that conscious breath awareness. Keep it rolling, keep it in, rolling in and unrolling. If you're ready, you can release and then stay here in your figure 4. Okay, now don't lift anything up, just drop everything to the right. drop your legs to the right and your upper body to the left. So it's like a modified twist, but this knee is up, and you may feel it in a little bit of a different way. Again, option to take your traditional, if you like your traditional twist, take that, please. I just invite you to take a little bit of a different variation. Sole of the foot completely planted down. I like to grab my ankle and look over the left shoulder. Coming back to center, let's bring that figure four up, and we'll switch sides. Right ankle this time over the left knee, or the opposite of what you just did, if you did the other side. And decide where you can catch, maybe under the knee, maybe over the knee. Maybe you need a little assistance. You can either hook this even on the foot and bring it in like this. Decide what serves your body. Sometimes from one side to the other, we realize that one side is a little more tight or more open. If you notice that you have a tighter side in your body and your hips, and you're doing your home practice, I recommend that you hold that side a little bit longer. If you have scoliosis and you tend to have one side that's more constricted than the other, you would hold like your side angle pose or your triangle poses a little longer on the side that is congested. So maybe exploring customizing your practice. Continue to breathe, dig around a little bit. Maybe you shimmy left, shimmy right. If you find a little nugget, you hold, you breathe, you release. If you're ready, you can let go of the knee. Bring the sole of the foot back down towards the earth. Keep that structure, just drop it to the left. So the sole of the foot is down, the knee is up, and the upper body to the right. Just as an invitation, if you need to do a different twist, take your twist variation. Notice that when you're in these twists, your pelvis is going one way, your ribs are going the other way, and your diaphragm is scissoring like right in the middle. So for twists, the deeper that you breathe, the more benefit you're gonna have in your practice, because you're literally massaging and stretching and you're causing that diaphragm to work into the organs. So breathe deeper into the constriction of the twist. On the next inhale, or whenever you're ready, you can come back to center. Bring the feet down, soles of the feet down, hip distance apart, and then just tick-tock the legs left to right. The spine loves this rotation. It's very happy for the spine. My physical therapist taught me this. It's a very gentle movement, but it helps realign and reset the spine, the lower spine. preparing for an inversion of your choice, I will guide you through Sleeping Tiger. Today I have a block nearby, so I'm going to wedge that block right under the sacrum. And you can explore with different heights. You can bring it, heck, you could bring it all the way up if you're feeling fancy on Memorial Day. Right, you could put a blanket or a towel. You could release your hands up. Maybe the wrists in line with the shoulders, but the fingers are relaxed. I don't know if you can hear the dog snoring, but, but she's definitely snoring. She's the real teacher, I tell ya. Unconditional love, present moment awareness. Definitely knows how to forgive, how to be peaceful and joyful all the time. If you are in your inversion and you're feeling like you're struggling or anything like that, you can always just come down a little bit, maybe relax for a second or two, and then come back into the pose, or modify the pose to suit your needs, right? Maybe, you know what is kind of cool too is if you're in Sleeping Tiger and your legs get all quivery and fatigued, you can use a strap. You can strap them up. If you are legs up the wall and your legs start to bend or they get fatigued, a little trick you can do is tie a strap around the knees and they will stay together. It's a little trick I've learned along the way. You could even do it if your legs aren't up against the wall. But for these inversions, we hold them a little longer so that the blood has a chance to circulate back to the heart. They're known as anti-aging, right? We're reversing gravity here. We are nourishing all of the endocrine glands. At least that's what the texts say. Let's take just 3 more breaths. To come out, just rebend the knees. Maybe you hug them into your chest. Get any props out of the way. If your knees are hugged in and you want to shift through happy baby pose, for happy baby, you can catch your thighs, you can catch your ankles, you can catch your big toes, yogi toe lock. You can stay or you can rock side to side. And if there's anything that you still need from your practice, if there's anything at all, please take this time to seal your practice in. Otherwise, we'll prepare for Shavasana by extending the legs, extending the arms, palms face up at your sides. I like to roll my head a little side to side. Most people have this little notch right on the back of the head where your head just sort of rests really nicely and it's in alignment with the rest of the spine. Maybe you walk your shoulders down underneath one at a time. Maybe you lift your tail, tuck it, and then release it back down towards the earth. And maybe you swivel your ankles in and out and let the feet sort of plop open. I'm going to take a few minutes in stillness. And I'll play my bowl for you guys. But the whole point of Shavasana is to be as still as possible. And when your physical body is still, your mind will start to settle like a snow globe you just shook up. All those little particles, all those thoughts are going to start to simmer down and settle down, and you will find stillness and emptiness and peace. Please feel free to stay in Shavasana as long as you'd like. If you're ready to come up, you can start to bring movements into your hands and your feet. Maybe invite a deeper breath in, or 2, or 3. Eventually rolling over to one side or the other. Taking fetal pose, just pausing, checking in, receiving the benefits of your practice, noticing the stillness and the peace and the calm and the warmth that surrounds you. And from this place, coming into a simple seated pose, into Sukhasana, easy seat, hands together in front of your heart. I always like to take a few moments at this time to think of some things that make me feel grateful, really, really grateful. And studies show that if you think of things that have a lot of detail, it actually has a bigger benefit. So maybe instead of saying I'm grateful for my spouse, you can say I'm grateful for the breakfast that they made me today, or I'm grateful for that time that we had just watching a movie, or a little bit more detailed gratitude list. And with that in your heart, I thank you for joining me in this practice. Thank you for being part of the flock. I cannot wait to see you back in the studio safely and happily, and very soon, I hope. Alrighty, namaste, everyone. And namaste from Guinevere too. She is something, this dog. Would you believe somebody dumped her? She is a rehome. She's quite the high maintenance breed, but I love her so much. And there was a family who just couldn't take care of her anymore, and I adopted a piglet. Oh, thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for joining, and I'll see you soon. Namaste.